Ravens Pass, the sleeper. Between where you live and where you've been, there is a town. It lies along the highway and off the beaten path. It's in the middle of a forest and in the middle of a desert. It's on the shore of a lake and along a raging river. It's surrounded by mountains and on the edge of a deadly cliff. If you're looking for it, you'll never find it. But if you're lost, it'll appear on your path. The town is Ravens Pass, and you might never leave. Chapter 1. The Old Orphanage. Most residents of Ravens Pass thought of the graveyard as the end of town. After all, there was no reason to go past. All the shops and restaurants were on Main Street. The only factory in town was on Industrial Boulevard near the highway. The schools and the library were just a block off Main, close to the park, and every house was on one of the side streets. Well, every house except one, the Galactic Expansion Home for Lost Children, or as everyone in Ravens Pass called it, the Old Orphanage. It was a 5-story rickety old house. On gray, cold days, if you were brave enough to take a walk past the cemetery, you'd see kids from ages 2 to 20 playing on the big overgrown front yard. And sitting on the porch in their old rocking chairs would be the 2 men who had been running the orphanage since it was founded. No one in Ravens Pass knew their names, of course, but they would all know the men on site. Mr. Jinx was the short one. He wore colorful, outlandish suits. His jackets all had tails, his collars all had ruffles, and his pants all had patterns or stripes or plaids. He usually carried a cane, too, and he never smiled. Mr. Flute was the tall one, nearly 7 feet tall. He wore black wool pants and a black wool sweater. When the 2 men were in town to pick up groceries or diapers, Mr. Flute always had a hello and a smile for everyone. But usually the residents of Ravens Pass only saw the men's car, a long black station wagon with tinted windows. Every so often, the long black car would move slowly through town. It would puff a cloud of smoke behind it. Its engine would blast and boom. Then the car would head onto the highway and vanish. It always came back, though, of course. Whether it was gone for a few days or a few months, when the car came back, a few new children would appear at the old orphanage. No one knew where the 2 men found their children, and no one asked. They should have, though, because Mr. Jinx and Mr. Flute were not ordinary men, and these were not ordinary children. They were aliens, and they were planning to destroy Earth. Chapter 2.